and we already see that how we can write a program with Hibernate core with XML configuration, basically XML mapping, and we already see that how we can write the same program, how we'll convert into the annotations. So there we already removed that HBM file and we created one annotation program. After that, we already learned that how we can map with some collection data, that I will just refresh that information one again. So when we going to add any collection related information like that, we will we want to map with array, list, map, set, bag, this kind of thing. So we have to map with, so either we can map through that XML configuration, either we will map through the annotation configuration. So that if we try to map in core Hibernate 3.1 with XML configuration, then we have to write like that. For example, we utilize that array. So this the array, string of array course. So this array will be registered like array name course table, that table name, what the table that automatically created by Hibernate. So table name is course. After that, through key we have to provide that primary key, through that all the collection will be mapped. So key it's a SID, so SID will be automatically generated by generator, that class is increment. We'll see that in the next lab also how we can generate primary key in different algorithm, primary key generation algorithm. So but here we just try to explain about that. If we have some collection like a string, array, or set, map, or any kind of collection, then how we'll map it. So here array we added like that element. So any collection that have an index, we can add the index, but some collection don't have an index, like a set don't have an index, so no need to add the index there. Map that have the index, so we will add that column name type index there. So that is a mapping related to core. The same thing we can do in the annotation also, that we already see that how we can map our annotation part, that collection part in annotations. So there annotation we don't have HBM file, so that all information that we are going we already stored in the HBM file, that will move in the student.java directly. So here we can utilize that annotation. Same thing, we already know this 5 annotation, that entity, table, IT, generator, column. So here new annotation comes, that we at the rate collection of element, mean it will be point out that this data that we are going to register, that is a collection of element. So after that we have to join that. So like that we are registered there like a key, ID and all kind of thing. Then through that we will do like that here at the rate join table. So we are going to join it, name equal to course1, and join column. So column, if column is there, so how it will be joined? It will be joined by the primary key, that name is SID. So index, what we are registered there, means some array kind of thing or list is there, then we have to add index. So index, if a part will be generated, then what name you want to provide, you have to provide. And after that column name, you have to that is a compulsory, you have to provide that column name in each and everywhere. Either you will do the simple mapping, either the collection mapping. So same thing is here. If some index is not there, then we will remove that index. So just try to understand that this is a way to map your collection data, and if you are utilizing an annotation, and the same if you are going to utilize core, then you have to map like that. You have to map all the same thing here in XML file. So after your mapping, it will be a fine and it will be run, nothing changes here. So you just create an object and save it. So till now we just save the object, we create an object, we instantiate it, we initialize that object through the parameterized constructor, and we call that session.save method, and session.save method is responsible to save our object. After that we will try to learn that HQL concept of object oriented query language, HQL or QBC, QBE. That time we will see the different option also. Till now I just want to explain about the basic concept. So once the basic will be clear, then we will go we'll learn that query parts and other deep concept of Hibernate. So yes, so here I already explained that Hibernate mapping type, that simple mapping means directly we a string integer we can map that like any kind of simple data type. So we see that how we can map, and collection mapping we see that list, set, map, array, how we'll map that. So next mapping type is inheritance mapping. Inheritance mapping means already we have some inheritance relationship, like a student is there, or one institute have a lot of students, so they divided with a new student and old student, and new student they already have a regular student, weekend student. So many kind of means inheritance is there. So old student or new student both are part of the student, like kind of inheritance relationship. A student is just super class, and subclass is a new student or old student. Again new student become a super class when we can add two new subclass of there, like a regular student who is coming Monday to Sunday or Monday to Friday, or weekend student who is coming only Saturday or Sunday, this kind of relationship. So we already have this kind of relationship, and we want to map this in the database. We want to store that information directly database. So in the ORM tool, like that here Hibernate, that is a provide this inheritance mapping directly we can map in the database and we can store that. So they provided a three type of inheritance mapping. The first type is table per subclass mapping. So table per subclass mapping, we will see that now what is this and how we can map it. The next is a table per class mapping and table per concurrent class mapping. So now we will we just try to understand table per subclass mapping, and here once we create this lab with core and annotation both, and we when it will be execute successfully, we will try to understand other like a table per class mapping and table per concurrent class mapping. So here table per subclass mapping, here you need to take one table per one subclass, means every class have one table. So like that here I already explained what. So we are going to utilize the same thing: a student, current student, old student, a regular student, and weekend student. So 5 classes we going to utilize, and we will try to so here student, old student, current student, regular student, and weekend student. We try to utilize this 5 table. We want to store all the information, and all our classes have the relationship. A student have a 2 concurrent subclass, like a current student and old student, and current student have 2 subclass, that is a regular student or weekend student. So I will just try to explain about the hierarchy. So okay, I will draw in the pen, then if hierarchy we can understand, then we can easily map it. So what I am trying to say, that we have this, so we have a student here, and a student have 2 subclass, 2 concurrent subclass. Old student and new student. So new student is there, old student is there. And new student have 2 more classes. Here regular student and a weekend student. So this is the hierarchy. Here a student is a super class that have 2 concurrent subclass, new student and old student. Old student don't have anything, but new student have 2, like a regular student and weekend student. Means some student that is a coming class Monday to Friday, someone is coming only weekend. So that weekend student information will store under the weekend student class, and regular students information will store in regular student class. Both are the new student or current student. Yeah, new student or current student. Okay, leave about that now. So this is a current student have regular student and weekend student, and student have 2 concurrent class, new student, old student, and new student or current student have 2 concurrent class, regular student, weekend student. We try to store the old information under the means the same hierarchy. We already have the Java code, and we try to store this information in the database in MySQL. So how will do that performance? Just imagine this hierarchy and just remember this. If you remember this hierarchy, then be easily to map it. So a student have 2, new student, old student, or new student means current student. I think, yeah, just remember that this is a current student and this is a old student, and current student have regular student and weekend students. So we are going to do the same thing, that 5 table we required, and through that we will store it. So we will start with Hibernate core, and after that Hibernate core we will move to annotation. We see that collection mapping. So now we move into the inheritance mapping. So inheritance mapping, how we'll do, we just close old thing there. So now I already created the student. So a student have SID, that is a primary key. This is a primary key student. So SID is a primary key. After that S name is there, city is there, status is there, and total fee is there. Okay, so I already told that we no need to create a SID, so we no need to initialize that value under this parameterized constructor. Only this field we have to initialize. And yeah, internal utilization of Hibernate, we have to add that default constructor, because we know that Java concept, if we add some parameterized constructor, then JVM is not adding any default default constructor. So explicitly we have to add, if we add some parameterized constructor. So here through that parameterized constructor we initialize that value, and we are going to instantiate it by this parameterized constructor. Through that we will initialize an instance through constructor itself. Here setter getter is there. If you want to see that value exactly what is there, then toString also there. I already explained this thing. This is an optional thing, but sometime we need an operation like that. After getting your object, you want to get SID or something, then it is easy. This is and sometime you want to set some value, you don't want to initialize through that parameterized constructor. Like that, we here we have to pass all the value, you just want to set some sid only or sname only, then use in instance initialization used through the setter method. So this because of that I added getter setter, but now in this example this is an optional thing, we are not going to utilize getter setter or to string anywhere. So a student have 5 field, that is sid, sname, ct, status and total fee. And we will instantiate and initialize through that this default constructor, where we'll provide this 4 value and we will initialize that. SID automatically generated by Hibernate primary key generation algorithm. So after that we see that after a student we have 2 concurrent subclass, that is a new student, that is a current student and old student. So we'll see that what is under the current student and what is under the old student. So current student is a immediate subclass of a student. So current student, we'll see that, so it don't have any primary key concept. So because primary key will generate only one time, and that through that primary key we will map all the other classes also. So here we have 3 new parameter. So we extended this class as a student, means all the variables of the student it's already inherited here. So this is a polymorphism concept, already what thing is available there in a student already inherited there, so we will utilize that. So in the super we have to initialize that sname, ct, student and total fee, that is already available in a student class. Okay, so we no need to write this thing here. What the new thing is there in current student, they have fee balance, timing and branch where they want to study. So this new three thing we have to initialize here. By this other thing we have as it is, through that super we will initialize. And the current student, after that current student have 2 subclass, that regular student and weekend student. So regular student, what is there? Regular student is concurrent subclass of immediate subclass of current student. So regular student, what there? So regular student again have 3 new value, that like a qualification, percentage and YOP. So that YOP is a year of passing. So this information we want to initialize here, and other all information, that is super class and top super class, means this new student and a student, all information we will initialize this super. Here we'll pass that all information, what we will get that initialize through that super, and 3 new we will initialize through this, and the same getter setter is there. So after regular student, be one more immediate subclass of new student is weekend student. So weekend student, again we will see that what is the inside the weekend student. So weekend student means they are working somewhere and they just want to come for the getting a knowledge. So they have the company email or CTC, this 3, how much payment they are taking. So this 3 thing is there, then again it will be initialized here, and all the information other than that will be initialized by the super. So here this part, left side part, is completed. A student that have a new student or current student. So current student have regular student and weekend student. So here weekend student means some here already working some company, so they have already some company or company email ID or something. A regular student means Monday to Friday they are coming, they are not working, they just a student and they try to get the job kind of thing. So this hierarchy, left side hierarchy is completed. One other thing is there, already pass out a student and old student is there, that information will be stored here. So old student, one more class is there. So old student is there, that have three again thing, maybe that have a company, email and CTC. So old student, we will again do the same thing here, super, it will initialize. Now you just see it have a company, email and CTC only, and weekend student also have same thing. Okay, but here what is there, they are the subclass of current student. So current student means here their initialization thing, many thing, but here old student, no need to initialize all thing. There have s name, CT, status and total fee, and this is a just this company CTC, because this is a left right side inheritance, and this is a means immediate subclass of a student. So this is a polymorphism. If you know the core Java basic concept, you understand this concept. This is a Java right now, and we want to map this through the Hibernate, and we want to store this information, like we will create a student who have a current student, who have a regular student, who have a weekend student, who have the old student. We will create like that object, and we just store inside the table. Then how we will design that table? Here 5 table will be created, and like a student that have 5 field, SID, SNAME, CT, status and total fee. Okay, so a student, when we will create this one, it have SID, SNAME, CT, status and total fee when the table will created. But when current student will be created, how many field is there? So it not need to the field that is available in already in a student. So it will be mapped with the primary key. So all the information that already available in the student, no required is there. Only new thing is required here with primary key column. So it will have SID, fee balance, this one, timing and branch. The same thing old student when table is created, it also no need to assign all the value, because this value will be stored into the different table, that is a means a student class, and here that will be only SID, that is a primary key, because through that only we can fetch the data, and other field is there, company, email and CTC. So 4 column is here in old student. Again we will see that the regular student, so regular student again have SID column must have all the tables, because through that only we can fetch the data, through that only we know which student is there. So SID is a primary key, through that only we know the student information. So SID will be all the tables, other than other information like that what we going to add here, that information only present, like that regular student have only SID, after that qualification, percentage and year of passing, and weekend student have again SID, company, email, CTC. So 5 table will created, one table that have all information of SID, that have 5 field including primary key is SID, SNAME, CT, state and total fee. The next table name is current student have 4 columns including primary key name is SID. Next is a fee balance, timing and branch. The third table name is old student, that again have 4 columns including primary key, that is SID, company, email and CTC. The next table name is regular student, that have 4 field including primary key is a SID, other than that primary key, qualification, percentage and year of passing. The weekend student have again 4 columns including primary key, that is SID, company, email and CTC. So that is the we are going to implement. Before going to implement, we know that how we'll create this Pojo classes. I already explained that Pojo classes no need to explain. This C Hibernate util we explain many time how we'll create a singleton through that static block, and how this is a loading only single, because when the class will be load, that time only this factory method will be instantiated, and this is a static. Through that we directly use Hibernate util, and through that this static method will get session. So it is the same to all the program till now, so we no need to discuss much more about this Hibernate util classes. Apart of that, we just need to discuss about here this mapping, how we can map that. So we'll try to learn this one, how we can map it. So here we going to map. We already know that we will start with Hibernate mapping. That is Hibernate mapping start means it is a mapping tool. So this is a core, Hibernate core. So Hibernate core we have to map under the XML, and it will be start with Hibernate mapping, and after that we have to provide that package where our classes will available. So when you are going to create a big project, then must ensure that your all mapping classes, at least the particular mapping classes where you want to map, it will be stored in the same package. If it is stored in the different package, then it will be difficult to map here like a package kind of thing. So we have to now all the classes in the same package. We will see that in the next example when we try to create some big or mini project, how we can utilize a multiple packages and how we can map it. But now you just consider put all the thing under the one packages, and that provide a package name here. After that class, which class you want to make as a super class. So here in this graph you just understand a student is a super. After that two subclass is there. So what the super class is there, you just add class name a student, and what the table name you want to create, just write a table name. So SID we are not going to instantiate it by default, means even the default constructor we are not initializing that. So we already discussed many times that SID automatically generate by Hibernate, and many algorithm is there, but till now we utilize the increment. We will see in next example that how we can utilize a different algorithm here. So now we are not try to understand this generation class, we just here try to understand the inheritance, that is a table per subclass inheritance, means each class have one table. So here a student is a super class of all the subclasses here, all the student class. So what table name we going to provide a name, that is a my students, that is super class. Okay, and what the property is there, one ID automatically generated we added, and property just add all the student, what the property is there, like as name, city, status, and total fee, just add here. So just added here. The joining concept is starting here. You just try to understand this part. If you understand this part, that means you understand the full concept of table per subclass mapping, table per subclass mapping. So whenever table per subclass mapping is there, you have to write this joint subclass. So joint subclass will start. For example, if we are mapping this new student, so here one join subclass will start, and it will be end when the weekend student or this regular student will come. So between of that, it regular student come and weekend student come. So this join subclass will be closed once that current student, regular student, weekend student, old student, it will be closed here, correct? So current student have regular student and weekend student, so it is closing here. So the way we are mapped like a current student, this is a current student. So current student have regular student and weekend student. So we will start with here and we'll map here. So when we are going to map any class, we have to utilize this joint subclass. In between that, if subclass is there, so we'll mark like a subclass. But that superclass will not close here. So this joint subclass is not closed here because it have two subclass, one regular student and weekend student. After that only it will be closed. So it will start here with joint subclass, it is closed here, joint subclass. Start with joint subclass here, it is closed here, joint subclass. Because this is a superclass of two subclasses, regular student and weekend student. So regular student we will write like that, and weekend student we will write like that, and joint subclass will start here and end here. So just think about that. The superclass we will store like that here, no need to do anything, Hibernate mapping and all. And after that subclasses we have to do. So subclasses, we current student class have two subclass, so two subclass we will write, but that current student class will be closed here. So now inside that current subclass name, that class name, current student, and table name, what the table name you will want to create for this current student, this information where you want to store. So we want to store like a C students table name, where we want to store that. So this is a primary key column SID. So this automatically generated. So one key, we no need to this write again ID generator all, we just need to write key column SID. So it will be map with the SID. For example, this student, this is a student of current student, and already here created this SID is 1, then it will be take automatically 1. So other field like a property name, fee balance or timing, branches, we have to store here. And the same thing here, regular student, the table name is R student and key is SID, and we just register here. Only one thing we have to focus on here, whenever we write this thing like that, this is a basic concept, join subclass, name, tables, key, property, and again close that join subclass. So this tag, when we have a multiple subclasses, must be close end of that after registering this classes. So like that here, this current class have two subclasses, so it not immediate close here in line number 20, but it is close here line number 35 after registration of this regular student and weekend student, because this current student have regular student and weekend student. Done. So after that we have another class like a old student class, but it not have any other subclasses. So it will be a start here and close here, and again the key column will SID, and we just register the property and all kind of thing. So mapping is done. So I will explain one more time. So we will going to map the same thing with Hibernate or student.hbm. HBM means Hibernate mapping file .xml. So here we will start with Hibernate mapping. We will provide a package where our mapping classes is available. After that class, the super class name is a student, what name, when the table will be created. So my student table, that all student information will store. After that we register a primary key generation algorithm that we are going to utilize an increment. After that we will just add all the property that is available in a student class. So a student class have other than SIT 4 property, 4 value. So a student class have S name, CT, status and total fee. So S name, CT, status and total fee. Join column, it must be inherited type. If some classes have some means many or few concurrent subclasses, then we have to register, and after that only we have to close this joint subclass tag. So this this current student class have two concurrent or immediate subclass, regular student or weekend student. So we just add this information and this information. After that only I close this joint subclass, and after that old student that not have any subclass, so joint subclass, and it is closed here. And after that we just close that classes, and after that we close that Hibernate mapping. So Hibernate mapping is done. So what is the task, next task? So how will instantiate that value? So we will start instantiation like a student Amit, Bangalore, that enable, and what the field is required will pass here. So same thing, current student we will create, and old student, regular student, and weekend student. What the parameter is there, we just create like that, and after that we have all session.save is there. So we save it. So what the parameter is there means parameterized constructor, through that only we create. After that we just add session.save, session.save, session.save. So it will be save under the session, means I already explained that when session is created, means when transaction is created, it create one session cache. When we are doing that save and kind of thing, it will be push under the cache, but it will be commit. When it will be trigger the commit, only that time it will be go to the database and store the information. So it is a store under the session till now, and when we write this transaction.commit, then only it will be stored in the database. So till now I think it is a very easy, no need to explain one again. So we just few changes is there. So we created as it is the object, means what the constructor we provided, according of that we created all the five object: student, current student, regular student, weekend student, and old student, and we just save session.save, and after session.save we just commit it like a transaction as tx.commit, that is tx is instance of transaction. If something is happen like transaction means exception is created, and if transaction have something, it is not null, then just we will roll back. This thing I already explained about before lab, so this is not a new thing. So new thing is there, how we'll map it. So mapping start with join subclass. So this is a table per subclass, that reason tag name is joint subclass. Here we will register, and if have some subclass, then we will not close immediately, will close after that all registration of subclasses. If not have any subclass, then we can immediate store. That's the reason this two example is there, that current student have regular student, weekend student, but old student don't have anything, so we can immediate close here. And property what we are providing, key column only there, through that it will be a map. So it is done. After that we will see that how it is working. So we are using a visual path as a db name. We check that. We'll go to the MySQL, use password. Okay, so databases. A few commands just remember, like start with password, show database, show tables, and select a star from table name. That is enough right now. So when we will discuss about SQL, we will learn more about queries. So now visual path is there, so we want to utilize that visual path. Then how will, what the command is there, use db. So use visual path name. So use visual path. So database change means now it is using a visual path. We'll check that. So tables. So it have a lot of tables. Student, student 1, phone, email, customer, lot of table is there. Better of that, we'll create some new database. Or some already database that have db test. So db test. Use db test. So it have only customer and customer 2. Okay, so we'll use db test. So we want to use this database, we have to change here. this visual path we have to change db test. If it is not correct, then it will be throw some like that. I just write some wrong, that db test 111 is not there. So see that some it will be throw some exception. And one other thing is there, means like a Hibernate will get very clear message. If some error or something will come, we can easily identify that what the exception is there. Through that exception we can understand where is the problem. So like that I give the wrong database information, that database not available. So if I run this program, what happen? So see, unknown database set 111. So what I explained, that when we are going to write a JDBC or some kind of thing where we have to catch the exception, and when we are printing that exception and like stack trace or something, no proper messaging is there. We don't exactly get what the problem is there. But when we are dealing with Hibernate, you can see that that is a very clear information is there. If you stuck somewhere or you will get the problem, then you can easily find that, because that exception is very clear. So this we are going to utilize a db test now. So db test, same thing is here, name is db test. Okay, so now we'll run it. Run, here right click, run Java application. So again it created some problem like SQL syntax error, unknown database db, yeah, a spelling mistake, TSET test. Okay, so we easily find that what is a problem. That is a one of we can say that feature of Hibernate. Now see that much query is generated. Insert into my student, current student, my student, old student, my student, current student, regular student, my student, current student, weekend student. So whenever we going to utilize SQL means Java JDBC concept, we have to think about that how much query we have to write and how much operation we have to perform, and think about that how much code we have to write and how much time that will take. But here immediate it's done. So we'll see that now. So tables, because this is the database db test. So see a student and yeah, my student, that is a mean, my student table. After that old O student means old student, R student means regular student, W student means weekend student, and S student means C student means current student means. See that, select star from student or my student is a student information of a student class. So this is the table of my student, where SID, that is a primary key, SNAME, CT, status, and after that a student, after a student we have current student. So we'll do that C student, my student, and C student. C student is, so C student have SID. So 2 means that Sumit is a current student, 4 is a Yogendra, that is a current student, and 5 is a Prakash, that is a current student. Other are not a current student, so that information is not available. If you are the current student, then only your information is available here in the current student, other than it will not available there. After that, current student, regular student and weekend student. So regular student means R student and weekend student means W student. So regular student, so regular student is 4 number, that is a BTech, his percentage is 85 and year of passing is 2010, and regular student and weekend student. So weekend student is XYZ, his name is Prakash, company name is Prakash @XYZ, and his CTC is 8 lakhs. So that information is available here. And other is there old student. Old student table name is O student. So it have XYZ, that is a Mohit at he is old and his CTC is 9. So see, that table is created, that is super table is my student, that is a student here, this is a student. So this information is stored here. So it is mapped with SID, Amit, Bangalore, enable, and his fee is 15,000. So after that, current student is there. So current student table is there, and all are mapped with this SID. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there, all information, and it will be a 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3 like that. So here all the information of SID, but it not store unnecessarily thing. For example, what is the benefit of this mapping? So for example, we want to store all the information in single table. So here we created a few more columns like a fee balance. For example, I created a fee balance here, but fee balance have only 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. So 3 and 1 don't have a fee balance. That storage will be going to waste. For example, here 4 have qualification percentage at year of passing, but other one 5, 1, 2, 3 and 5 don't have this qualification percentage at year of passing. Then that much space is wasted. When we create a column, nothing will store there. So that much space will be saved through that, and we can fetch easily through map with this primary key. So primary keys all are there, means if you want to get all other information related to 2, that is not here, like a 2 information is just name, CT, status, and total fees we have in this table, but we want to fee balance, timing and branch, then we can get through the current student 2, that fee balance is 2006 PM. That is a benefit, means it is not wasting a memory. So I will see that also, that type of mapping also available here in the Hibernate. In the next after this we will see that. Now we just understand that how we can map our table per subclass mapping and how it is mapping. Basically you have to consider, you are just try to understand this mapping XML file, and this is the only new tag, that is a joins subclass. Other than all are the, we already aware about that other tags. So join subclass will be mapped like that, the exactly same how the hierarchy we are going to utilize. After that, like that, it have a 2 subclasses, then it will be start with the tag here and it will be end only when this 2 subclasses is complete. So I already explained about that. Just try to learn this, just try to write this same program and try to run it and check that tables all the information and change the value also here many times, like change this values and check that how it is working. After that we will see that how we can fetch that all information and how we can do the same kind of thing in the annotation part. Right now, yeah, this is a I think I explained all the concept about how we can write a table per subclass mapping with Hibernate core. In the next video, we'll see that how we can map the same thing with annotation concept. Till now it's fine. Okay, thanks for watching.